let's just jump into this, guys.
Starting the game, follow the main quest as well as the tutorials in the cultivation menu until you get to Student 1. You will get a full 150 gear score set from Lilane. This set is a major improvement from your current gear. Equip it immediately. You can continue with the storyline and the cultivation tutorials, which will reward you a few pieces of the next tier, 165 gear score. You also just unlocked new daily and weekly quests. One of them is the instance exploration. Open the cultivation menu, J by default, go to the cultivation tab and Q for instance exploration, also called random dungeon. This will be your first dungeon with 9 other players. Follow the rest of the players and progress through. There will be some odds and few bosses. After the last one, there will be 2 chests. Once you have collected the drops, open your bag and find the night box. This is your piece of gear, open it and equip it. Go to the next tab in cultivation, progress, and look for the dungeons under the recommended 155 gear score. We've got a total of 5. That will give you one piece of 165 gear each. Go ahead and queue for the 4 dungeons which you haven't done yet. Left click on one, participate via matchmaking, personal matchmaking. There is no hard lockout, you can do the dungeons you have done already again, but you get rewarded for doing them only once a day. Make sure to finish leveling to Sage 1, this will grant you another 5 165 gear score items along the way. Do all 5 dungeons for a day or 2 until you get all your 165 gear. Next on the list we have 3 of the dungeons in their next difficulty, hard mode. You get rewarded for doing them once a week, resetting on Thursday. Completing each of them will give you 180 Lucky Soul Crystal. You can use it to buy a gearbox from the Book of Mysteries, Oath and P by default. By this time, if you have done some of the daily and weekly quests, you probably have enough parchments to buy some other gear from the book as well. Once you have gotten a few 180 pieces and have upgraded them a little, you can go ahead and look for a group to do your first raid. Blank 1 Bridge. You can also do an easy mode of the raid beforehand to get an idea of the fight. Make sure to check if your guild is doing any runs and at what time. If there is none, look into the recruitment channel. Control and Z by default. Ask for a group in the chat or just form one yourself. There are 4 bosses in the raid. Each one will give you one piece of 180 gear in normal mode. Same as the hard mode dungeons, the raid will give you rewards once a week, resetting on Thursday. Do some upgrades on the gear that you got so far. Use the parchments that you've gathered so far to buy pieces of gear that you don't have at 180 yet, or just buy more appropriate stat-wise gear for your current specialization. Each time you use parchments in the Book of Mysteries, you will gain some understanding. Once reached 1000, you will start getting the next tier of parchments instead when doing quests. Now, once you are close to 180 gear score, you can go ahead and clear the other 2 dungeons in hard mode. Again, ask your guild or take a look at the recruitment and world chat. Clearing each of the dungeons will this time grant you 195 Lucky Soul Crystal. You can use 2 of them to buy one piece of 195 gear. Get a few 195 pieces, upgrade them and start looking for the next normal raid, which will reward you with even more 195 gear. I spoke quite a few times about upgrading your gear, however, I never explained how. The rest of this guide will be on how to improve your stats and upgrade your gear. There are a few different ways to make your character stronger, and some of them are not based on your gear at all. One such way is getting more Astral points. The system is account shared and does not work in PvP. You can open the Astral menu from here, or just use N by default. Astrals mostly give you just raw stats. Using the points is rather easy. The harder part is actually getting all of them. You will get another Astral every time this experience bar reaches 100. To see the ways of gaining Astral experience, go to Cultivation, Target, and then click on any of the non-PvP activities. Mouse over some of these goals will let you know if by completing them you will gain Astral experience and how much exactly you will get. The current maximum of Astral points is 32, but it changes often, so chances are by the time you watch this video, we have over 40 already. You can reset the Astral points usage for free and as many times as you want. It's done in your quest base by talking to an Astral Essence Master. Now let me make your life easier. Find the recipe tutor and learn all jades and runestone related recipes. With that out of the way, let me talk about strengthening. Talk to a blacksmith. Check the blueprint or your bag for the item that you want to be strengthened and click on it. You can strengthen your jewelry. It doesn't cost much gold, but it does cost some, and there is no RNG involved in this system. Every upgrade is gonna happen 100% of the time. The required material is runestone, and depending on the gear tier, you might need runestone 1, 2, 3, or etc. in the future. Hopefully you bought all the recipes I mentioned earlier. Go to a workbench, crafting, then socketing, and check the runestone. Upgrade to whatever current tier you need. You can get more runestone by completing dungeons or raids, and can buy from the Book of Mysteries or the Lanquan Merchant. Next we have socket. You can socket jades into your necklace, rings and quest symbols. Mouse over a piece of gear and it will tell you which is the max level that you can put in. To open the socket menu, hold shift and left click on the item that you want to upgrade. You can get jades by completing some daily or weekly quests, as well as drop from dungeon and raids. Upgrading them goes the same way as the runestones. Now for earring, instead of jades we're using Soulforce relics. You can get Soulforce chest from some weeklies and you can buy few from the Lanquan League merchant. Each chest will give you 10 experience worth of progress towards your next Soulforce level. You can check your progress on the relics in collection, rare treasures and then relics. To socket it into the earring, you will need an item called Dragon Accessories and you can buy it from the Lanquan League merchant. A great increase of stats is gained by putting talismans in your gear. You can use them on your weapon, headgear, rope, bracer belt, trousers and shoes. Talismans, the same way as Astrals, are used only for PvE. Blood Revia, Turquoise Lantern and the Lanquan League merchants all sell different talismans and recipes. Some higher tier talismans recipes are obtained from raids only. You can look through the auction house for the recipe or the talisman itself, or you can ask a friend or a guild member that has the recipe to craft them for you. If you ever meet me in game, you can ask me too. Using a talisman on your gear is easy. Just right click on the talisman and choose the gear it will fit on. Another way to get your character a little bit stronger is by buying the weekly Blood Ruvia and Turquoise Lantern buff. It costs 20 gold and it lasts 7 days after purchase. You can have only one Ruvia and one Lantern buff at a time, so choose wisely. You found yourself a friend and play with them pretty often. Consider setting up a sworn friendship. Buy a promise from the Heartstring shop and use it while targeting them. You can have up to 3 sworn friends initially and you can buy 2 more slots from the same shop. By just playing together, you will level up your Swarm Friendship. You can get up to 3 slots to put Swarm Friendship symbol in it, unlocked at level 2, 5 and 10. Buy a friendship symbol from the Heartstrength shop, target your Swarm Friend and use it. Once he agrees, you will have that buff wherever you go together. The last ways to get power are food and elixirs. Both of them are consumables. If you have the recipe, you can straight up cook the food that you like. If you don't, by using the right ingredients and coal, you can make a version of the food that you cannot trade and you should consume within 3 days. For normal dungeons, you can get away without using food or elixir. For hard modes and raids, I highly recommend at the very least using some food. Please be aware to use food and elixirs that are from the current patch, as the old one gives only 10% of the stats it used to give. Elixirs save up for the latest raid content. Using these buffs can get quite expensive, so make sure you gather for your own elixirs and cook your own food as much as you can. Thanks for watching, please subscribe and press the like to boost my confidence. Feel free to suggest what part of the game should I make a guide on next.